Welcome back to the C tutorial series. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we will learn about for loops. We will also discuss the advantages of for loops over while loops and how to use break and continue within for loops. So let's get started. In this program for.c, I'm going to create a for loop. And like any file, we're gonna have a main function. And then inside of the main function, let's write a for loop. So I'm first gonna declare an integer I, then I'm gonna say for, and this is where the loop starts. So I'll use the variable I and start at 0 by saying I equals 0, and I'll continue the for loop while I is less than 5, and then each time I want to increment by 1, so I'll just do I++. Then I want to print whatever I is, so I'll print this as an integer, and then when I'm finished with the loop, it's going to say you're finished with the for loop. So I is going to be 0, it's going to print out 0. It's going to increment by 1, so it's going to print out 1, increment by 1, print out 2, then 3, then 4, and then I is going to be equal to 5, and 5 is not less than or equal to 5, so it's going to finish the for loop at 4. So let's run this, and that's exactly what we get. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You are finished with the for loop. If we wanted to make this code even cleaner, we could do that by putting integer inside the for loop. So it declares the integer inside the for loop, so this saves a line of code and is cleaner. And what's nice about this over while loops is that you initialize the variable, increment it, and check the condition all on one line. So this makes the code actually run faster, and it's easier for someone to visualize what's going on. So when possible, you should use for loops over while loops. Now let's use break and continue within a for loop. I'm going to create an if statement, and I'll say if I is equal to 3, I want to skip over 3. So this is just continue, same as before when I introduced break and continue in the while loop video if you haven't watched that yet. So it's going to start with 0. 0 is not equal to 3. It's going to print that. Then I equals 1. It's going to print that. I is equal to 2. It's going to print 2. When I equals 3, it's going to go inside this if statement. And then continue means don't do anything below it. Go back up. So I will now equal 4. And then it will print 4. And then I equals 5, which terminates the loop. So it prints out 0, 1, 2, 4. You are finished with the loop. However, if we wanted to break out of the loop when I equals 3, we could do that by switching the word continue with break. So let's run this again, and it will output 0, 1, 2. You are finished with the for loop, because when I equals 3, it breaks out of the loop. And that's an introduction of for loops in C. Next, we will introduce switch statements in our C programs. Make sure to follow along with this video series by subscribing and hitting the notification bell, or by clicking on the next video so that you can expand your knowledge about C. Thank you so much, and as always, I can't wait to see you next time.